the internet was not working, and I'm going to use this video to give you guys a framework that you could use to apply gamification to your needs. Let's recap what the guy was saying using me, right? So for you to start in Tinder, you need to create your profile. So you create someone that really looks like you and describes you very well. This is me. Great. Now So that was the hardest question. So I had to have this one so that you guys say, okay, I'm jumping in on the next one. This is a dilemma that I'm going to answer at the final slide. Okay, so just keep that in mind and let's start. I need to first say that the element of fun or the importance of fun in gamification or games is something that is embedded into our lives since we were very young. So everyone watched this movie. And maybe you don't remember the citation, but it's there from 80 years ago, 60 years ago. In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap, the job is a game. So that's what we were looking for our whole lives, right? When we were young. Yeah, jobs are not boring and repetitive, but they actually is. So maybe gamification could help us change that. My final definition of gamification, and I would say it's mine. Other people also use that definition, but it's not the most common one. ChatGPT doesn't use that, but maybe I'll create so many content that they will start giving us a new answer. Gamification is a design focused on human motivation, not functionality. Maybe. So I started this journey 7 months ago, and I started going and visiting the stores and seeing what are the points they are offering in those relationship programs. I'm a loyalty strategist, and I help brands design relationship programs that are normally those points that aren't used for anything. And we can discuss that more later, but I'm visiting Pingo Doce, FENAC, IKEA, and many others. And I found this research that was done in April 2024 that tells us that the Portuguese are one of the worst in the loyalty programs. They don't trust that. They don't like it.
It's true.
This would be the carrot. And the stick is, if you don't come back in 1 week, you lose that money. So they use all those strategies to incentivize us to keep coming back, but we don't know the motive why they are coming back. So because we are doing those incentives, week after week, we are just making people more anxious or frustrated and saying, fuck that, forget the cards, forget the points, just let me buy it, right? I'm here because of whatever. You don't understand me, you send me a lot of emails for fucking whatever that I don't know, so forget it. What the brands need to understand, and we all need to understand, is when we do things that we like, all the hobbies that we were discussing, we do it for our own satisfaction, okay? Let's skip the music, but boarding a stranger's car. We are doing this, I did this, probably half of you did this today. We are boarding a stranger's car, things that we know that we can't do, we shouldn't do, and we are doing this a lot. And the most interesting thing is the way they solve this is 100% by gamification, and you will see in the next when I put the button. But before I do that, are you all familiar with Black Mirror? Yeah. Black Mirror, the Netflix series. Yes. The Netflix series that talks about futures, weird things, and probably you watched that one and said, this is never happening, right? That girl, and then she lost stars, and she wasn't able to get a ride, wasn't able to pay for anything. This is exactly how Uber transformed the world. They created exactly this world where by a 1 to 5 feedback that I gave with no instructions. We are using Uber for 10 years and we have no idea what should be a 5-star ride, 4-star ride. We have our own freedom to choose how we decide it's 5-star or 4-star, but they give us with the stars, with the badges. In 3 seconds, we can look at the app and say, hey, this guy made 10,000 travels with 5 stars and whatever, I'm boarding that car. So they used gamification to make us do the most weird decision in our lives, boarding a stranger's car, and describes you very well. This is me. Great. Now let's focus to the things that he said. He said that he decided to play with guys because and I can also use my super like. I have limited amount of times I can do this per day, but it's something that I have, and this will grant me more powers to solve the problem. Once I do that, I level up. Once I level up, I share a lot of nudes, so it's something that's not available to everyone, and I can be very creative by doing that, and I'm getting points in the bank. And the only thing I need to avoid is getting arrested while doing that. So this is exactly the reverse engineer they did in that video to show how gamification is part of our lives. Tinder is not a game, right? But the way they created those triggers, the way they created those functionalities was to enhance our motivation. Like today we are talking a lot about doom scrolling and whatever. Maybe there's doom swiping because I saw a lot of people saying, just swipe everyone and see what comes out. Right? It's not that hard to start doing real gamification or valid gamification. You need to know your business goals. This is always where you start. I need to sell more. I need to sell to more people. Normally, sell is the word that we are looking for. But we need to understand the user needs, because the user, that's why we talk about a lot about gamification. There are 3.5 billion gamers in the world. Half of the population play games. And they do it only for entertainment. They do it because they like it. And the brands are saying, why are they wasting so much time doing that? Where they could be wasting 2 minutes downloading my app and doing something. Wow. And so you are, through practice and repetition, discovering something that you are good at. And yes, we could start philosophing how we could transport the abilities on Candy Crush to real life. It's really possible. Because it's also possible, this is a very good question, like, what are people really getting good at on games? Like Counter-Strike. If you don't know what it is, it's 5-on-5, terrorists against police, shooting each other in the head. If it's not in the head, you don't know what you're doing. So we are getting good at shooting people in the head. That's not true, right? It's instant decision, it's planning your next step. There's so many things that we are practicing when we are doing that. The shooting in the head is just the ludic element. It's just maybe the fun element for some, for others are repulsive, but this is just the context. This is not what we are getting good at, okay? For us who have cars, we think it's Waze because it has the same radars Volkswagen warned us. Waze is the best app to show me radars that are not the fixed one, the moving radars. Because Waze works solely on the community adding things. There's traffic, there's accident, there's new radars and things like that. So if we have cars, we think we need Waze. But Google Maps solves way more problems, right? The use is the same, how to get there. And Google Maps doesn't do only giving me signs. I could book the restaurant, I could do so many more things with Google Maps. And so it's not just because there are more people that don't have car than people that have car. It's because gamification will never surpass solving a user's need. Because it's fun, because it's engaging. If it's not solving all my problems, I don't need that. So, okay, that's it, guys. But that's it just with a joke. At the beginning, I said there was a hard question, and there was a dilemma there. So, I love video games. This is one of my favorite games. Someone said this is Zelda. This is one of my favorite games, Zelda Breath of the Wild. And it starts like this. A guy lost in a cave, very cold. I'm still cold. Lost in a cave, he forgot who he is, he forgot what he was doing there, and then he opened the door. And when he opens the door, the light sun came in and it blinds us. If we are in the game, the light is so brightened that we can see either. And this for me is the power that games bring to our life, this context, this narrative. Maybe you remember this, and I remember this from Plato's Cave. So it's not everyone that knows that, but Plato's Cave is the theory where there are guys that are chained in a cave, and they can't look at the sun. There's a fireplace there, and everything that's going in the outside world are just reflections, just shadows in the cavern. And they don't know what's the reality. But then one guy gets loose, and then he starts his journey going out to the outside world. And I'm just using this thing because for me it's been this hard journey talking about gamification. If you go to ChatGPT, there are quick answers about that. There's a lot of science behind this. All brands are doing those points that we don't want, so I feel like I'm swimming against the current, and it was me. The thank you was just because like being able to do this and share this knowledge with you guys is when I feel like the world is changing and can be this beautiful place. Okay? Thank you so much.